Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Just a reminder that per your feedback over on the community page, we are returning to our original Wednesday release days. If you're with us on Patreon, you can expect early episodes on Sundays. We last left you in Banderas Bay, where we spent some much-needed time on the dock in La Cruz with shore power and freshwater access. You got to meet our lovely parents, get out on the town and be tourists for a day, and get some well-deserved rest after storming down the mainland coast of the Sea of Cortez. This week, we're taking you to one of Pacific Mexico's most beloved cruiser hotspots. We spent most of the previous cruising season exploring remote islands and off-the-beaten-path destinations that you won't find in any vacation brochure. This year, however, we are relearning the meaning of cruising. We're Will and Em.
Say something cool.
And we're living on the hook in our sailboat, Appa. For nearly a decade, we planned and plotted our escape from the Fire Nation, aka our day jobs, and now we're hightailing it on the high seas aboard our sailing bison.
Appa got the zoomies.
After a year of isolation in the remote Sea of Cortez, we're venturing south towards a new ocean with new friends, and of course our trusty sidekick, Blue Dog. Subscribe, kick your feet up, and join us on our quest to master the elements and sail everywhere.
Great Eurus, exalted ruler of the east wind, grant us permission to use your mighty powers in the pursuit of lawful endeavors, ever sparing us the overwhelming scourge of your mighty breath. Take notice, exalted ruler of the south wind, grant us permission to use your mighty powers in the pursuit of our lawful endeavors, ever sparing us the overwhelming scourge of your scalding breath. Okay, if you have any champagne left, indulge in honor of completing the sermon.
Well, hey, my name's Will, and my life is pretty cool. No, I'm just doing the engine checks here. We are about to blast south to Tenacatita. We're going to spend Christmas there, maybe New Year's. Actually, we'll be sailing on Christmas. That'll be kind of fun. Just arriving. But everything down here is looking good so far. I'm going to clean up a little bit of water that has spilled in the lazarette and made its way forward. But outside of that, we're pretty much ready to go.
Tenacatita is 120 nautical miles south of La Cruz, and it's like the first stop that everybody talks about being super clear water, really warm, very tropical. So we are so excited to finally be experiencing it. I feel like we've been hearing stories for weeks, months, and now we're going to go do it for ourselves. So we're really looking forward to it. There's a really big group of sailors down there that we already know who are also intending to spend the holidays in Tenacatita. So we're double excited to be able to experience the anchorage itself, but also reconnect with a bunch of our friends from up in Penasco, from here in La Cruz. And then we have more friends who are leaving the cruise after us who are talking about buddy boating all the way potentially to Panama. So very much so looking forward to the next leg of this journey. It's panning out to be really good. Able to catch the last of the day's wind across the bay, and we are on a bit more of a lean than I think we were anticipating, and all of the dishes from this morning went flying. So I'm just down here putting those away before they can either get damaged or damage something else. And the only thing that I'm a little nervous to put away right now is our Dutch oven lid, our cast iron Dutch oven lid, because we are currently on a starboard tack, which means that the wind is coming over the starboard side and the sails are on the port side. and our oven is on the starboard side. So right now that's the high side of the boat. And we store all of our lids in there, and I'm afraid that if I open the oven right now, all of our lids are just gonna come shooting out at me. So I'll put that away when it calms down a little bit. Well, one of the worst possible things that can happen on your boat just happened to us in a non-emergency way.
It looks repairable.
That's good. Was it just did it look like a pressure built and something popped, or?
No, an old piece of plastic broke.
Oh. You thinking just some epoxy or something?
Was that the last of our paper towels?
No, I think we should have another roll. We were just pumping out our macerator, and it takes about 10 minutes to do that. And with a minute and 30 seconds left on that 10-minute timer, a piece of plastic broke on the macerator and started to leak. Thankfully, it is in its own isolated compartment, and it was at the end of the pump out, so it wasn't a ton of disgusting fluid was popping out. And all things considered, if it was going to happen, that was best case scenario. So it's not coming through the through hole. Through hole's closed. Just is a gross mess that nobody ever wants to clean up. So I am up here at the helm. Will is unfortunately down there cleaning that up. But he jumped right into action. I was down there doing the pump out. I said something went wrong, and he immediately went into problem solving and cleanup mode. So we're doing okay. It'll be all right. It sucks. I feel really, really bad that he's down there doing that task. But, ugh, gross. But he said it looks repairable, so hopefully it is. Otherwise, we may be turning around and heading back to La Cruz to go buy a new macerator.
So I just took over on shift. It is 3 a.m. here, and Emily did some sail changes when I was off shift, when I was sleeping, and we are flying right now. We're doing between 6 and 7 knots. We have 10 to 12 knots of apparent wind speed behind us. Directly on course, still pretty close to shore. All great stuff. We didn't talk much about it, but the reason we left the time that we did was because we needed to round a point called Cabo Corrientes. And that is the most western point on the Pacific mainland side of North America, specifically Mexico. Yeah, because California is way more west. But you'll probably see a map pull up right about here next to my face. Because it's so far west, some crazy wind and current and waves happen around here, so we wanted to get through it dead of night. We're supposed to be having 4 knots of wind right now. We probably have closer to 20 true wind speed, so it's no joke. I'm glad we left when we did, and now we get to take advantage of it and not be in any danger, not be in any real danger. See if things are going well. My shift just beginning, and hell, at this rate, we'll be there today.
We've made the executive decision to come into Tenacatita in the nighttime. It's a pretty wide open bay with a few obstacles along the shoreline, but the cruiser's guide and the charts on Navionics have everything pretty well mapped out, and we confirmed that with a friend that is
currently in the anchorage here. So we feel good about our map situation. Again, the bay is really wide, so we have about 3.5 miles before we hit our very last waypoint before turning into the anchorage and dropping hook here on Christmas Day. We'll get in probably right around maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock. Just in time to have a coffee with sunrise.
This is Tenacatita. At first glance, it's your standard run-of-the-mill Pacific Mexican bay, complete with palm trees, beach access, and palapa restaurant. To understand the difference between this little slice of paradise and all the others, all you have to do is flip on your VHF to channel 22.
Harmony, come ahead. Yeah, we're going to swim to shore at leaving 2 o'clock from the stern of Harmony. Anybody want to join Virginia? I'll be there in the dinghy, making sure everybody's safe.
Tenacatita is a longtime favorite for Mexico's cruising community. There are boats here from all over the world, hopping in as they prepare to either cross the Pacific, move north into the sea, or head south towards the canal like us. But there's another side of the community here. A number of these boats are repeat visitors, returning to the well-protected waters and lifelong friendships Tenacatita has to offer, year after year. Every morning, a net is hosted by a volunteer boat in the anchorage. You'd be surprised by just how many full-time sailors have kiddos on board, and it's a great way to get them involved in the daily activities. They share information like weather, sea state, and tides, and we were even lucky enough to have the expedition vessel SV Free Ranger in our midst, sharing turbidity reports and nightly bioluminescence expectations. For more information about Larissa and Duncan and their citizen science projects, I've linked their website here. In addition to all the local weather updates, expect the morning net to be full of events, like bocce ball on the beach or drink specials at the Palapa. Maybe which boat is hosting Kid Island that day, and what time you can expect Palapa Republic to form its sovereign borders. The community here is unmatched compared to anything we've seen in Mexico. If you're in need of a tool or a cup of sugar, just hop on the radio, the sailor's version of ringing your neighbor's doorbell. The chances of someone having what you need are pretty high. There's even a mayor in the anchorage. Robert and his wife Virginia have been returning to Tenacatita on their boat Harmony every season for 35 years. If you need something, he's your guy. But if you're just looking to hang, there's always someone around for an adventure.
We hosted a lot of people last night.
Yes, and some of those people you will remember from the funny naming ceremony that we did in La Cruz with them for their boat. They are actually going through the mangroves up the river today, and we are going to follow behind them. Mm-hmm. Apparently it spits you out at a place called the aquarium, which just sounds great. You're supposed to be able to do really, really good snorkeling and spearfishing over there. So short time limit with the tides, but we're going to go check it out.
Yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun. We're excited.
Yeah. Is it deeper than I thought?
Yeah, look at Should we beach the dink while we're here to get the water out?
Sure. We're gonna go to the anchor.
Yeah.
Look it up. Ready? Oh, that's gonna rip. Are we out of the water at least?
We can at least start. Yes.
fork in the mangroves, and we're not really sure which way to go to get to the beach. So we're gonna try to send the drone up.
Oh, it is.
Having a well-established community structure amongst transient peoples is an astonishing feat. There are floating villages similar to Tenacatita across the globe. They've maintained their existence through storm and strife for decades, seeing cruisers come and go whether it be due to age, growing families, or simply the need for a change of scenery. The concept of a local cruising community is nothing new. However, despite the controversial headlines surrounding Starlink and the CEO of SpaceX, the option for reliable satellite internet has been life-changing for those of us living full-time on the water. Outside the obvious safety features, like being able to live track your location or get real-time weather updates, having the world in the palm of our hands enables us to connect more deeply outside the anchorage. With apps like No Foreign Land and Sea People, finding like-minded friends on the high seas has never been easier. This means a greater capacity for information sharing, storytelling, and quality time spent with our fellow humans, even when there isn't a morning net to tune into. Organizing anchorage meetups, learning about local events, and staying in touch with buddy boats long departed is as easy as clicking a button. It even opens the doors for things like crew opportunities, bringing sailing experiences to a wider audience. You, right now, sitting on your couch, can open an app and dive headfirst into the sailing community. This new generation of cruisers has found a way to build upon the solid foundations laid by those who dropped the hook long before us. And as we bring boat life into the 21st century, we hope to share the culture and traditions with those who will hoist the sails long after we're gone. As this new tech paves the way for a bigger, brighter sailing community, will you find yourself joining the fleet?